Hello guys, so I wanted to come back and give y'all an update on what's going on with me and the rental property. I think the last time that I talked to y'all, I was telling y'all that I had a friend of mine that was going to be trying to move into the property, to take care of the property, to watch over the property, so the house wouldn't be vacant and I wouldn't have to issue out more money on vandalism or something been stolen out the house. We kind of made an agreement with that. She knows that this is a temporary decision that we made. And once the property get renovated and fixed up, it's gonna be rented out or it's gonna be sold. I'm just not sure. I don't think I want to ever sell this property. I've been on this property for like 10 years, so I don't think that's something that I want to do. But whatever I decide, she knows that this is a temporary fix. So, well, I want to tell y'all a little about what's been going on with that. And she's been going there off and on. I know for the last, it might have been 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that she have stayed there. I know she's been trying to move some things slowly into the house. I got the hole fixed in the house. The tree is no longer on the property. I think I told y'all that in the last video. It's no longer on the property, and it had left a big hole in the back side of the house. And I did get that fixed because that's a huge issue. And I told her that I was gonna work on the bigger issues, then I'll work down to the smaller issues. Um, Once I got that tree removed, she's been going in and out of the property, cleaning up the property. So she had went and bought some cleaning supplies and she stored it in the house as usual, thinking that that would be okay. And I don't see why not. I thought it was a good idea. Well, the night after that she bought the cleaning supplies, her and her daughter had cleaned the property up. Somebody had, she wasn't staying there, but somebody had came up in there that night and they pretty much took all her cleaning supplies. I had a bar in there, a Ashley bar that was in the house from when I used to step in there. The bar was so heavy. I considered moving it when I moved down to where I'm at now, but I didn't move it because it was just that heavy. Like it was seriously, it was really heavy. I have no idea how they got this bar out the house or anything, but yeah, they took it out the house and I don't know what they did with it. I'm pretty sure they probably sold it or something. But oh yeah, they may have sold it now. But what had happened is, in the midst of her going over there and seeing all this stuff stolen, I want to say they tried to remove the refrigerator out the house, but the refrigerator is a trick to it. So they didn't figure out the trick, and I'm not trying to expose the trick, but they couldn't get the refrigerator out the house. Um, the bar they did get out the house, her cleaning supplies. So she went and knocked on neighbor's door to see if they heard anything or seen anything. Of course, as usual, they haven't seen or heard anything. So she called the police to make a police report. She's telling them about the carpet that has been taken out the house. A brand new carpet. I had 3 or 4 rooms. I don't know. You can go back on the videos and look. That had carpet on the floor. They took everything out of these rooms. They pulled up the baseboard, took the carpet out of there. So this is the reason why she called to make the police report. But in the midst, before the police even arrived at the house, I had my niece and my nephew that had went over there because I can't be there, so they go over there for me. And this guy in the truck right by the house with the bar and the bar stools on the back of the truck. So they followed him. They called the police. They said, hey, we found this guy. He has the stolen items at the house. And I'm thinking, okay, this is good because now if they find out who has that bar and who has the stools, then they can charge them with the four-wheeler that came up missing out of the storage building at the house and a generator. Don't ask me why it was there, but it was there. and the police told them to ultimately don't follow the guy. And they told them the house they seen the guy coming from, which was only like 3, 4 houses down from where my house is at. So all this time, this has been a long term, long time neighbor of mine's. She's an older woman, so it was her. I don't know if it was a grandson or what, but it was the guy and the girl that's totally responsible for everything that came up missing out my house. So we're in the process of dealing with that. I don't even know how. I mean, I don't know how this is gonna go. I think it's gonna be just considered a total loss. I ultimately think that it's gonna be a total loss, but the police officer went over there and the girl, before she left walking, had locked a storage building that was in the back of the house, and my niece and my nephew told them that they wanted to see what was in the storage building. But of course, that's property, private property. The police did not allow them to go and see what was in that lady's storage building. So they showed them what was in my house, what my carpet looked like, and all that. And then they say, "Hey, can you tell us that if her stuff is there?" Well, the carpet, the storage building, it was like I guess like a guest house, so they was turned into, and they had used my carpet to carpet that, and other things that was in my house. They used, but the 4 wheeler wasn't there. The generator, I don't know if it was there or not, but they didn't say it was there. But I know it's gonna be a civil matter. So enough of that. We now know who has been going to the house, and because we know that, we haven't had any more issues with nobody going into the house. So even though I think everything that's taken out the house is a total loss, um, I'm very thankful for the fact that they did find out who was going into the house. We do know now, and they know we know. So I don't think we're gonna have any more issues with that. But with all that aside, I have been having problem after problem after problem with that house. I found out that the last renters that stayed there cut the pipes underneath the house for whatever reason to keep the gas from going to the house. I people, they're hilarious. Anyway, I do not understand why would somebody cut any pipes to stop the gas from going to the house. I really believe that they was trying to turn my house into all electric. I do believe that, and I think that's the reason why the gas pipe was cut and it was sealed off. Well, that costed me an arm and a leg to replace that pipe because it had to be back in city standards. So, um, I'm just like dumbfounded. I'm like, who would even think to cut? I'm not gonna go under nobody's house. I wouldn't think nobody would go under nobody's house to cut no pipes. I'm just like, seriously, it's just crazy. The gas people has been out to the house 3, 4 times trying to figure out why this gas is not working, and then of course I had to call a plumber, and because at first they were saying it was a leak somewhere, and I don't even know where what they determined the leak was even coming from, but ended up they said that the pipes was cut and sealed off, but it still had some kind of leak. Anyway, I got that fixed, so my friend girl can have heat at the house because of course it's winter. Um, we did that. Got the back part of the house sealed off. Then of course when it rained, we got holes somewhere. The ceiling is leaking. So the ceiling had already started collapsing in the inside the house, which I was going to get that fixed because I already knew of that issue, but I did not know that it was really holes in the roof of the house. I just thought that because there was holes in the back, a big hole in the back of the house, and the tree was ultimately in there. I thought the rain was going on the tree and just drizzling down, and that what made the ceiling collapse. No, It actually got holes in the ceiling. I got one estimate on the ceiling, and the estimate was 10,200 for to get the whole ceiling replaced, or I don't think it's 3,000 to get some repairs done. So I'm not sure where I'm gonna go with that. I've been weighing out my options and trying to see what exactly I'm gonna do with that. The heater, the filter, the central heating air unit, has been taken out and it's been ran over and over. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to. Well, it's been ran without the filter, and if you know anything about central heating air units, then you know that this can stop. The filter protects the coils and everything. So ultimately, the the dirt is all caped up in there. It really need to be cleaned if it's any good anymore. I'm not even sure if that area is any good, but that's not my main concern. Even though it's cold, it's not my main concern. My main concern is getting the roof fixed first, and I already talked to her about, how that probably be my next thing that I get done. I thought getting the ceiling was gonna be the next thing, but now I see that the heater has to be fixed, so that's the next thing. Um, this house has been one problem after another, but the one thing that I am thankful for is just being able to experience everything that I have experienced with that house, because this is the things that a lot of landlords or a lot of investors do not talk about. They do not talk about the ugly. They talks about the good. They talk about the profit. They talk about all these things, but they don't show you the ugly. And this is definitely the ugly. But I am not. I am not willing to give up. I gave up all this time, and I don't feel like I'm gonna give up now. I am tired. I am stressed out. I am under confusion and do not understand how all these things can be happening. But at the same time, I have hope, and I have not lost that hope, and I will not lose that hope. Um, I do not plan on working a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. So I know keeping this house and doing everything that I can to repair it, and get decent renters in there is ultimately gonna come down to how well I do with this house to be able to get another house to figure it out all over again. Like, I am ready for property number two. Um, I had another property. That property was sold, which is fine. It was really far away. It was in Louisiana, so I really couldn't take care of that house at all. And there was some issues with that house, but Arkansas property is like 2 hours and 45 minutes away from me, and it's ultimately where I want to stay, so I can see me moving back down there. So I do want all my properties to be in Arkansas. I do not want to buy a rental property in where I'm at now. So it's fine. But that's the update with the house. That's how everything's been going. It's just one thing. All I can do is one thing at a time. Um, and I'm doing that. I'm trying so hard to get everything right. I want that house to be ready by at least March. I want it to be decent. I want it to be ready to be rented out, or sold, however. But it's gonna take time. It's gonna take money, and I know that, and I'm working on it. So that is ultimately, ultimately my update on my rental property. If you have any suggestions, any concerns, any questions, just let me know. I really appreciate it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching my video. Even though it's just a handful of y'all, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And with that being said, have a great day.